nope, I'm not coming back. Like, we're done. This is not working for me. I mean, it's at my core as a hospitality professional that I want to please as many guests as possible. I want to give them an amazing experience. If I were to go back in time, stand up for yourself. It's okay to seek knowledge. It's okay not to know the answer, and just surround yourself with even more community. Don't be afraid to fail fast. The sooner you fail, the more you know what doesn't work.
The Founders Hustle is back. This podcast is all about talking with founders and hearing about their entrepreneurial journey, including lessons they've learned along the way. Today's guest is Maria. She is the founder and head sauce maker at Maria's Hot Sauce, a true gem of a chef who got tired of the same old, and decided to make something better. What started as fun experiments in her Traverse City kitchen turned into a mission to craft bold, small batch sauces with an unexpected flavor. So welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm fabulous. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. First things first, you come sporting your t-shirt, which is fantastic, but if you have not visited, go to, is it mariashotsauce.com, correct?
Yes.
You've got to visit her website. The branding, the tone, the message, everything about it is so cool. Who came up with that?
So it was me with, thought partners like AI. They called me selfish and lazy for branding and using AI as a tool because they want me to pay someone. And being a startup, unfortunately, I don't have it in my budget right now to do that. Definitely when we rebrand, that is something I want to do. Especially making the portraits a little more consistent in the look, in the tone, but it gets the message across and all the things. And so when I was designing my brand, I just had this huge idea that I really wanted something cheeky and retro-y fun, a lot of play on words. I'm a very playful person. I, come from a restaurant background, and so you kind of have that cheeky fun anyways. A little bit. You got to keep things interesting. But I have a tone of like flirty and playfulness, and that's what I wanted with the brand. And so with the logo, as you can see, I just wanted something that's like that. It is high quality. It's still like very seductive though. And my sauces in general, I want you to be addicted to them and use them and find a way to use them every single day.
So whether you used AI as an assistant or not, like, first of all, there's creativity that's involved in it. And a lot of times I can spot AI in the world now, but I did not sniff out AI at all related to your business. And I
must be doing a really good job then.
Honestly, you are. Like, you could market that as a second business because I tell you, it's something to be different. And AI, when used properly, is an amazing assistant. And you clearly have nailed that one too. So congratulations on being able to pull this all off. So are you a one-woman band or do you have employees that work with you?
I do have a co-founder. So I'm going to take you through that whole story really quick to tell you how I got to a co-founder. I originally made the smokin' hot sauce that we call our OG hot sauce because that's how it all started. I went to culinary school, going through my whole journey as a chef that I am. I went to culinary school in 2016, graduated in 2018, and then found myself still working in the restaurant industry. I was doing butchery, and then I moved into opening a spot where I was the executive chef of a breakfast restaurant, and then found myself accidentally in hot sauce. And so I stayed there for 3 years, from 2020 to 2023. And so after I had left the hot sauce company that I had worked for, I made hot sauce said that we should create a brand out of this. I eventually want to get out of the restaurant industry, and everyone really loves the sauce. At the time, I was getting married, so I was like, I couldn't really like focus on that. But then January of 2025, I had quit my executive chef job that I had at the time because it was just soul sucking for me, and I didn't feel fulfilled because I was only using like maybe a quarter of my skills, and I was
Okay.
kept in, it was like I had to be in the kitchen all the time. Like I couldn't like be with the guests. I couldn't like, it was just like a really uncomfortable thing for me, and I just hated it. So going back to the hot sauce and CPG world, starting from scratch really helped me understand, like, okay, how do I really make this a brand? How do I actually, like, what elements make a good brand? And I'm glad it shows online with my brand messaging and all the things, because I put hundreds and hundreds of hours into that. And thinking about how I want to be portrayed online, all the things like that. Anyways, so that's a long story of how I got a co-founder, because she was like, I want to do this. I have the money. We can get started. And I'm like, okay, let's figure out how to do this.
So what was your first step when she says, I have the money, I'm going to fund you, we're going to work together? What was the very first step when you had to walk away from your own job and you had to start figuring this out? Like, did you have mentors, or how do you even learn where to begin with all this?
Sure. That's a great question, because I think a lot of people have a tough time getting started.
Yeah.
So for myself, I had prior knowledge of and a prior understanding of the hot sauce world. Now, that has served me in some cases, but not all cases, because again, there were some things that I felt were disconnected while growing and building that brand. It was a startup, so there were a lot of learning curves with myself. I had never been in product before in that side of the food industry, and all these other like complex things that I didn't really understand at the time. To be quite honest about starting my brand, I started using AI as a thought partner because I didn't have the resources to have that mentor that, hey, this is how I built that brand. Honestly, another part of that was I found this school group, the SKOOL, school.com. And he was running ads of a food business blueprint. And so it was like free for 14 days or something, and then it was $25 a month. So it wasn't that much. And so kind of getting launched off with that, he was a CPG brand owner as well. He sold his company, or I can't remember if he dissolved it or not. He either dissolved it or sold it. I can't remember. But talking with him, that was kind of like the thought partner, like to get me started, which was really great. But then also the use of AI and having it do that deep research for you, having it ask it questions and learning how to prompt it to expand my own knowledge was really helpful, instead of spending hours and hours and hours just researching one question and going through each website. I used GPT to regenerate the portraits, because originally the portrait on the bottle was Vanessa, my co-founder. It was her portrait. And so when I was actually expanding the brand, because I had found that I went to this trade show and I just walked it and like talked to people and all these other things. So that's another layer that I did, where it was really low cost, talking with people and getting into rooms with other CPG founders and experts in the industry in my state. That really helped as well. What do retailers look for? And other topics like that. What really stuck out to me is that retailers want 3 to 4 flavors to choose from to carry. So with that being said, that totally makes sense because you want enough variety, but not so much that, it takes up more shelf space than normal, I guess. That was kind of encompassing all my research. And then on top of that, I had just gotten back into TikTok of all places. And in TikTok, I came across my now friend / pseudo brother, his TikTok. His name is Rob. He's lovely. And he was like, I'm quitting my job and like, I'm starting this company, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, me too. I'm going to follow you.
Nice.
And so come to find out, he used to work in the capital, business capital space. And he had all this business knowledge and all these other things. And I'm like, okay, I need to like hang out with this dude. He seems cool. Like he's really knowledgeable. And so then it just kind of happened where all these pieces came together of like this section of TikTok where we like to call founder talk. So
ooh, I like that.
So we just created this like whole community, and then we all learned from each other. And so that was another layer to my branding journey, to my journey of getting started, and how I kind of found mentors. Yeah, the entrepreneur sector is cool up here and all, but sometimes you can't find the exact resources you need to start your own CPG brand. Like, especially if you want to go national like me, I want to go national. I've even shipped internationally already, mostly because I have friends across the world. But I don't want just to be confined to local. I want to be a national brand. And so expanding my horizons in that way, I got really lucky. But then again, like if you put yourself in rooms and you get the resources where you don't know everything, of course you're going to get lucky. That's my thought anyways.
What you found, and maybe a lesson that future entrepreneurs can learn from, is just get out there, start networking, start meeting, because you just don't know who the next person that you meet, who they might be or who they might know or what value the two of you can bring each other. So it's, yeah. And I hear that a lot from entrepreneurs, finding a mentor, being a mentor, but more so collaborating with the other mentors and just playing off of each other. So now when you say that you want to be national and international, are you selling more of your hot sauces from your website, or are you selling it more from the retail sector?
I'm selling more direct to consumer. So that's via my website, in person, and any type of online. So that includes like TikTok as well, because I do live selling on there as well. QVC style.
I have not heard of that before on TikTok.
Yeah, so it's QVC style, where you literally talk about a product. You can run flash sales, you can do free shipping, you can do anything that you want to do. And you interact with people right then and there. You're live streaming. So you're just talking about your product, selling your product, and telling your story, basically. That's really what it is. And connecting with people and consumers in a different way other than being at a farmer's market. It's kind of like a farmer's market or a live show. You're just streaming that way. And people are typing in the comments or doing all these things, and getting noticed that way. I follow Gary Vaynerchuk, and he is a huge, huge advocate and proponent of like seeing live selling as the future. And I totally believe that people are consuming and consuming and consuming all the time. And so why not make some money while people are consuming? If you can make it entertaining, if you can make it engaging,
we're here in this new era from the standpoint of the way that people have such an ability to have a large share of voice. What I mean by that is there are so many creative people in this world, and you didn't know it until all of these social media platforms allow them to have a voice. There's all these Marias in the world that are inventing the most fabulous products, but nobody knew about them until the advent of social media. And now it's just picking up steam where anybody can become an entrepreneur. Anybody can become an artist. Anybody can become a comedian. You name it. They have the platform. And that's what's so interesting, absolutely interesting to me about social media. I've always felt that this world is full of creative and amazing people. And social media has been kind of the outlet in our ability to find and follow and connect with everybody who literally lives on brilliance. So I think it's fabulous that you are able to go national and international based off of a fun online platform where you sell live. So what has been one of your biggest challenges to date in running this operation?
Educating my co-founder. And I mean that in a respectful way. She's never been in the product consumer or the consumer product sector before. And when you're in the restaurant industry, it's apples to oranges. It's not the same thing. You have to, you have inventory, and it takes a longer time to expire. You have to keep your cash flow going. It's not like, you're going to do this on a Saturday night or a Saturday brunch and know you're going to have that cash flow. You have to keep marketing and keep more consistently being in people's ears about the product, because that's the only way you're going to make sales. And so also your production is different. You have less ingredients, which is fabulous. It's a different animal in the sense you have to figure out different logistics. And so helping her and teaching her, understanding what needs to happen to be successful. Momentum is your friend. You can still fly it like we all like to say, sometimes running a business is like flying a plane and you're building it at the same time. I think embracing that particular concept is in your favor. Yes, it's fly by the seat of your pants, but I think there's a moment in the plane where it's built just enough that you can glide and kind of step back for a second and just reflect and understand like what your next steps need to be, where your holes are, and what it needs your attention first. And so, yeah, like I said, it's just the education of your entire team, and then also the vision and the intention of where you need to go. Because she's never built a business like this before, whereas I have some experience. I have a lot of lessons from my last experience. And so having that is to my advantage. And so now I need to pass that knowledge on to her and have her understand and have the knowledge that I even research as well or learn during this whole entire process.
So, okay, knowing that you've been through this and you do have a lot of lessons that you've learned and research and you kind of been there, done that, if you could even rewind the clock and tell a younger Maria some advice, like what would you tell your younger self as you're about ready to enter these entrepreneurial journeys?
That's a good question. I honestly have never really thought of that because I take most experiences as like just experiences. It's like, and then afterwards you reflect and then you're like, okay, what did I actually learn? What should I not do again? What should I not repeat? How should I grow based on this last experience? Okay, maybe this will work instead. Maybe this will work better. Everything is about trial and error. And so I think personally for me is speaking up more. I would have to say that's the first thing that I think of when you ask that question is like speaking up more, talking and creating community more around your brand, around you. Yeah, if I were to go back in time, stand up for yourself. It's okay to seek knowledge. It's okay not to know the answer. And just surround yourself with even more community because community is what helps your brand grow even faster and more.
And that kind of circles back to our earlier conversation about connecting with people and just allowing you to open the door. So I see a theme with you is that you're really embracing that communication, community, people to help grow. And when I first met you at a networking event up in the Traverse City, Michigan area, and you have that personality that it just puts you out there and people are naturally drawn to wanting to talk to you because you have that vibe.
I really honestly appreciate that because if you caught me last January or last December of 2024, let's say December of 2024, that was when I was still at the restaurant and all the other things. Like, I felt my light was so dimmed. I was a different person. Oh yeah, I was a totally different person. I will tell you that right now.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was on the inside. I felt so insecure, like all the things. Yes, I was very conversational like I am now, but when you are actually like feed into your own essence, this is like, it changes you so much. And so I'm not kidding. I was so miserable December 2024. And then January 6th of 2025, that's when I finally like had the courage to be like, nope, I'm not coming back. I quit my job. Like, we're done. I'm miserable. This is not working for me. And yeah, again, just standing up for myself and actually leaning into my essence and stop people pleasing, because it's at my core as a hospitality professional that I want to please as many guests as possible. I want to give them an amazing experience. I want to have them walk away and be like really satisfied that they spent their money on this experience with us, because that's how I see hospitality a lot of the time, because the hospitality industry now, it's becoming so expensive. Like, if you don't give guests a good experience, they're not going to come back.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter. Like, the food matters, of course. But I think when people don't have as much money to go out as they did 5 or 6 years ago, that really impacts your business as like any type of restaurant, hotel, all the things, in my opinion. And so I'm always about giving a good hospitality experience. And so that's where my people-pleasing tendencies stem from. I mean, we can get this into a therapy session, but we'll leave that out of that.
It's probably because your hot sauce. It just spiced you right up, man. I know.
They don't call me the spicy chef for nothing.
I know. You know what? That's what I think you should start marketing your hot sauce for people who just need to come out of their shell. Like, if you are feeling down, buy some of this hot sauce, because this shit will pick you up. I mean, legit pick you up. You will turn into Maria. So what do you have on your horizon in terms of, right now you have 4 different flavors. Is that correct? Like, do you see yourself expanding?
So we actually have 7 flavors, only run seasonally until I run out. I'm done. So we have our smoking hot sauce that I said earlier. We have our Verde Vixen, which is our Verde. It's a good medium. We have our spicy honey, which is a favorite. Island Affair is a pineapple mango habanero. We have a taco sauce. That's our mild to medium sauce, depending on your palate. We have a mild cherry hot sauce that we typically run during the summer because Traverse City cherries, right? And then my newest one I just released last week. It's called Unforgettable. And it's a Serrano hot sauce. So it's a good medium hot, I would say. And then it has pho spices, PHO. So you got the fennel, you have the coriander, you have the star anise, you have the cloves, cinnamon, black cardamom, and ginger in there. I'm here to flavor food, not bite your face off. So I really want to be inventive with our flavors in the sense that it's not so overwhelming that it just masks everything. It has just the right balance of heat, spice, flavor, all the things. And they're vinegar based. So you get like that little bit of pop of vinegar, but they're not so vinegary that it just, covers your entire mouth, and then all you can eat is vinegar. Now, I know some people like the fermented sauces, but I don't have the space to do that. However, being a chef, a good sauce, that's all you need, to finish a dish, to like pull it all together, just sauce it and put a really great sauce with it. And that's what I want my brand to convey, is you just need this sauce and you're good to go every single day, every single meal.
So how do we find and support you? How do we get sauced? Where do we find you?
You'll find me on TikTok at Maria's Hot Sauce, and Instagram and Facebook at Maria's Hot Sauce. I am Maria the Spicy Chef on TikTok and Instagram, and mariashotsauce.com.
Awesome. Well, and plus on your website, which I find absolutely fascinating, is that we leave all the creativity up to you. You basically hold our hands all the way through how and what to use the sauces on, which is very helpful for people that aren't as creative like myself. So one last word of advice, future entrepreneurs, future leaders, young and up-and-coming people that are entering our world, what advice do you have for them?
Just start.
Just start.
Analysis paralysis just sucks. And like the great Tony Robbins says, like, if you stay in your head, you're dead. And I was dead for a long time. And it's hard to execute and practice that, I'm not gonna lie. But once you get going and you execute and you keep just going, it makes it a lot easier. Not that some moments won't be hard, but it makes it easier. Kind of like a snowball. Yeah, it's a snowball effect for sure. Absolutely. One more is, don't be afraid to fail fast. The sooner you fail, the more you know what doesn't work. And I've always been afraid of failing. Like, always. I think we inherently don't want to disappoint people, and we don't want to look stupid, right?
Do you embrace failure now?
We absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I still get...
What was your last fail?
Posting being too quick to post a episode of my podcast, the Spicy Chef podcast. And because I was so focused on getting it out with the deadline that I had to get it out Friday. And I worked on it, but it was like, okay, I need to get this out. I got listening blind to the podcast because I'd listened to it so many times, and I thought my edits were good and I thought the audio was good, and then I re-listened to it and I was like, it's not good. So I pulled it immediately, and I messaged the guest. I was so mortified. I was like, I am so sorry that this quality was not good. If you listened to it, I pulled it already. I'm going to rework it and I'm going to release it at a later time. And I was so mortified, and I apologized twice in that message. It was really short. But I said I really don't want to put I'm so sorry I put this out. I'm fixing it. And again, so that was something I struggled with over the weekend, where it was I had a lot of anxiety over it, and maybe it was unnecessary. I don't know, but it is what it is. That was my biggest fail recently.
But what did you learn from it?
Well, earlier in the week, I should have really allowed myself to circle back to the podcast before posting it. Before I posted it, of course. I feel like I was really redundant there. I'm sorry. And also, just because I have a deadline with a side project doesn't mean it's going to make or break that side project. Because the hot sauce is my main, and I think as I grow and get bigger, what I put out there matters even more. And you're going to get the people who are haters, and you're going to get the people who are, critiquing you and all these other things. at the same time, like the more content and the more stuff you put out there, and it's not what you want. For me, I think the deprogramming that I've had to do myself, and still deprogramming, which is what I'm working on actually these next couple days, of kind of lowering that reactiveness to very minimum in day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, will help my nervous system, but also like the quality of content that I put out overall in general. And also, like I said, you just have to start and you just have to put stuff out there as my best advice for entrepreneurs, but also learning how to refine that reactiveness too. I think if it's not perfect, it's okay to put out, but don't put it out of haste. Like you have to do something, like you have to get this out, and just finding your own balance. For me, it's finding my own balance of reactiveness and decision making, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like and thoughtfulness to every decision, whether it's content or business or otherwise.
Well, lots of great advice. Fun hearing your story. I'm fascinated to see where your hot sauces go next. And I encourage all of the listeners to go out to mariashotsauce.com, support local. And I did see you had a really cute little 4-package product sampler, if you will, that is great for gifts or for the budding saucerias that want to just try stuff out. So thank you. Is there any last piece of advice or words you want to get out before we get sauced?
Just eat more hot sauce, you guys. That is like, so a lot of our mission is to support local farms. And I buy as many local ingredients as I can from small farms around the area who grow hot peppers, they grow garlic, and then now I'm moving into like herbs, especially cilantro that's a huge ingredient for us. So my last words of advice for everyone, no matter if you're an entrepreneur or not, if you're listening to this right now, is buy local, support your local farmers, keep your dollars local as much as you can, and just be a part of your community in some way. Volunteering goes far with you as much as it does the organization. So try and carve out a little bit of time to volunteer and support your local farmers.
That's excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you. I enjoy your time, and we'll talk to you here soon. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's Founders Hustle. I would absolutely love to know what resonated with you the most from today's guest. Go ahead and drop me a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. Also, if there's a future topic that you'd like me to touch on, go ahead and drop that in the comments as well. But no matter where you're watching or streaming your favorite shows, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on social media. Tell a friend about this. I would love the support. But in the meantime, keep living, keep growing, and keep hustling because you are meant to do great things. See you next week.